Welcome, Virgo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I'm doing your Virgo collective reading for the month of October. I've already laid the cards out, and I'm going to finish off the reading with an oracle card. I'm going to start, Virgo, by reading the bottom of the deck of the African Tarot, and this is the World card. So the World card is giving me a sense that you have completed some great work. You've achieved something of which you are very proud. You've come to the close of a long journey. You've achieved at a significant level, and you're now finding yourself at the portal of exiting one level and perhaps continuing on in a new direction, on a new path, but you're carrying all of the gifts, talents, wisdom that you've learned from the path that you're currently completing onto your new journey. The first card is the Lovers. And the Lovers is showing me that you are in the phase of discriminating. This is a Virgo ability to make an assessment about the best way forward from between two paths. There are two paths that are before you, two ways that are open, possibly two alternatives. For instance, a way you've done things forever, a path you've been on, and a newer path that's coming before you. Whether to stay with where you're at this fork in your life, or to choose something that's different from what you've done before. This is really making a choice that best resonates with your desires. In the second house, the house of your resources, your values, your material possessions, the Six of Cups indicates the visitation from the past. I'm sensing that there is a relationship that was complete and which seemed as though it promised the world to you in the past, that is coming around, perhaps a connection, a friendship, an opportunity, or an affiliation that did not work out, that promised a complete and total happiness, that seemed like the perfect choice match for you, that disappeared and did not work out. And you have this choice going forward before you at this time. This choice is definitely about a real practical opportunity, be it a relationship or work, but it's also about revisiting a kind of innocence and joy from the past that promised perfection. And this perfection is something that you are now contemplating as being truly possible in a way that affects an equitable and harmonious balance between yourself and your desired result. The third house is the way you're processing the information in front of you. So these two major arcanas are showing me that you are on the right path. You have accomplished something, and you're now looking to open up the arena of your heart. This is a space in which your discriminatory facilities are not what you are exploring. You're pretty set in terms of how to work and how to accomplish practical results. What you're now interested in is opening up your heart in a way that was not possible in the past. Your decisions regarding a particular relationship or set of relationships was very limited, I would say. And the Lovers is showing me a way of choosing what, in the past, of what you chose to serve your own self-interest, and rather not in a way that included the skills and talents, the desires of another who would build and help you explore this arena of your emotions and your feelings with greater depth and greater trust. And I'm seeing actually a whole recognition of the quality of trust that perhaps has been lacking in some of your relationships in the past, in which now you are willing to build mutually in a relationship. The fourth house is where you are in your domestic environment, your past, perhaps, and certainly your subconscious. And this kind of is reinforcing what I was saying earlier about you have worked, you know how to work, you have produced and invested your talents and energy into a particular area, but you're not satisfied with the results. You want to see those results grow. You want to, you're assessing the ways in which to use your resources, rescale your work, seek improvement, look for ways to extend the productivity or to move this work forward in a way that you haven't been able to on your own. I'm seeing a lot of cups here. So the fifth house, we have lovers, friends, relationships with peers, children, partners, and this is an area in which you are now receiving and giving a lot of attention. You are very much looking at the ways in which you have formed creative connections. You are an incredibly sensitive and creative individual. Whether your creativity has looked like an aesthetic production or an academic or intellectual one is not important. Creativity and the warmth of feelings, the ability to touch into our emotions is a capacity we all have, but you in particular are really looking at how to grow your emotional abundance, how to share your emotional experiences with others in such a way that others are drawn to you. This can also indicate a very giving, loving, nurturing relationship, friendship, or lover who is helping you to safely explore this arena at this time. The sixth house is where we take care of ourselves so that we can be productive. And the Five of Wands is indicating an incredible laboratory. In fact, this feels like a classroom to me. This feels like a team effort, a project in which you are aligned with peers again, and your ability to make space for the desires and the experiences of others is partially what is allowing you to build this trust and safety that can be actually quite vacant from the learning environment. This is you joining with others to learn a set of tasks in a very safe and protected way. This could even be you teaming up, collaborating with family members to create a new domestic space, to try out a new domestic experience. The seventh house is our house of significant others, and we know that these significant relationships can be with people, places, and or things. So as the King of Pentacles here, you are a master of manifesting your desires. You are masterful at identifying what it is that you want to create and then going about the step-by-step and very deliberate process of creating that. You are not lost in the weeds here, despite the numerous details and resources that you're managing on behalf of others as well as yourself. But here you are feeling accomplished, that you are able to lead towards a beautiful abundance here. This abundance is very much about material prosperity, and this is something you've gained and you are able to share with others. You share this abundance of resources. I'm getting the feeling this is more of a world. This is more of a home environment. This is something like a legacy that you have created, and you are masterfully in charge of this legacy. And this sort of dovetails with the World card as well, in which you are completing, you have completed something. The tens indicate changes. They're the end of this one cycle and the beginning of a new one. So this legacy goes with you as you chart off to a new exploration, a new arena of safety and abundance. The ninth house, the Five of Cups, and here you have been prompted, you have been inspired, in fact, by a loss that you have experienced in the past. And I'm seeing this very directly tied into a relationship that you may have, a strong friendship that you may have experienced in the past that promised so much and ended up being such a disappointment. This is at a distance. I see travel here. I see this as a long distance relationship. I see this perhaps as a work that took you over many distances. And in your work, you have experienced not only a deep connection and a sense of joy and innocence in the building and crafting and sharing of that work, but you've also experienced a fair amount of disappointment that it wasn't what you had hoped it would be. And this relationship is very instrumental in the work that you've done, this relationship from the past. You chose differently in the past. You chose something that ended up not being promising what was offered, what appeared to be offered. You chose the relationship that was most productive, that was the greater opportunity as you perceived it, and that choice has led you to disappointments and a sense of loss and grieving for that loss. That grieving process is actually what has opened you up to this wealth of feeling and emotion that you are experiencing at this time. This is your exploration of your capacity for giving and receiving, your capacity for love, and your past experiences of innocence and connection, of balance and pleasure that you recognize as something you've lost. However, that opportunity for what, that gratitude for what remains, is the real opportunity before you at this time. So it is about turning away from the past and looking at what remains from the past. The Ten of Wands is in your 10th house, the Page of Wands. Did I say 10? The Page of Wands is your greater ability to allow yourself to be inspired by this emotional journey that you're on. You have been able to accomplish much. You may have completed your quest for worldly accomplishments and are now, through this ability to explore your emotional world and experiences from the past that offered you emotional completion, you are now inspired to move forward in a completely new social role. And I'm not sure what that social role could be. If you've been a teacher, you are now a student. Um, if you are the leader, you are now the assistant. You are willing and open to make room for the experiences, the inspirations of others, so much so that you are inspired yourself to begin on a new quest for growth in a new way. The 11th house has the Nine of Pentacles, and this is, I see a progression here where you have recognized that your ability to be self-sufficient, to be capable and competent, to be able to utilize all the resources at your disposal to create safety and harmony in your environment is your personal accomplishment that has nonetheless inspired you to build trust in your relationship. So I see you really desiring you're satisfied at the material level, but you're really desiring the wealth of emotional abundance that you perhaps have neglected in the past in your quest for worldly accomplishment, and you are now mining again as you explore your past, from the regret of the past to the balancing of that past here. And this is about the fork in the road that you are now contemplating, that is before you. You feel that a choice is in front of you, and this choice is relevant to your accomplishments alone or your building of trust in community in order to make deep and profound connections. The 12th house is endings. It's also what you've learned from the past and what you have learned from perhaps past lives as well. The Hierophant shows you learning deep lessons. So again, this is another repeat of the student becoming the teacher or the teacher becoming the student. And of course, as a teacher, which this card is indicating to me, as a leader of some community of growth, some growth effort, a leader of development, you are now in a position to understand that you are an equal, a peer with those under your tutelage. So you are now opening yourself up to not just learning the lessons, not just teaching the lessons that you teach, but from learning from all the lessons of your life, all the people that have been in your life, and your ability to identify this lesson and what you've learned is coming out of your ability to review the past and to address, to embrace the pain and the grieving in order to rebalance those energies and build up trust. I'm going to finish off this reading, Virgo, with an oracle card. I'm not going to take that. This is Divine Doors Oracle, and I'm going to pull this beautiful idyllic scene of vineyards or a small forest. It is the Three of Cups, a toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. 3 cups in happiness, 3 cheers are done. Celebration is near. So this card is definitely echoing that you have made a tremendous amount of progress. You have achieved, and it's now your time to celebrate that achievement as you continue to grow and progress. That's it for you, Virgo. Again, I'm Regina from Pacific Tarot. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you are so inclined. Namaste.